Chapter 26 The Pont du Gard Inn. Such of my readers as have made a pedestrian excursion to the south of France may perchance have noticed, about midway between the town of Beaucaire and the village of Bellegarde, a little nearer to the former than to the latter, a small roadside inn, from the front of which hung, creaking and flapping in the wind, a sheet of tin covered with a grotesque representation of the Pont du Gard. This modern place of entertainment stood on the left-hand side of the post road, and backed upon the Rhône. It also boasted of what in Languedoc is styled a garden, consisting of a small plot of ground, on the side opposite to the main entrance reserved for the reception of guests. A few dingy olives and stunted fig trees struggled hard for existence, but their withered, dusty foliage abundantly proved how unequal was the conflict. Between these sickly shrubs grew a scanty supply of garlic, tomatoes, and eschalots, while lone and solitary, like a forgotten sentinel, a tall pine raised its melancholy head in one of the corners of this unattractive spot, and displayed its flexible stem and fan-shaped summit, dried and cracked by the fierce heat of the subtropical sun. All these trees, great or small, were turned in the direction to which the mistral blows, one of the three curses of Providence, the others being Durance and the Parliament. In the surrounding plain, which more resembled a dusty lake than solid ground, were scattered a few miserable stalks of wheat, the effect, no doubt, of a curious desire on the part of the agriculturalists of the country to see whether such a thing as the raising of grain in those parched regions was practicable. Each stalk served as a perch for a grasshopper, which regaled the passers-by through this Egyptian scene with its strident, monotonous tone. Welcome to Chapter 26. We've just got some scene setting here today. Dumas breaking the fourth wall and talking to his readers. Let's just take a second to break down who Dumas is actually addressing when he says that some of my readers may have traveled to the south of France. He's doing... Okay, hold on. Sorry, my thoughts are getting tangled here. He's doing two things. Let's talk about the obvious one right out the gate, which is by addressing readers in a start of a new chapter, he's essentially resetting the tone, right? He's pressing the reset button and saying, okay, we are starting up a new section here. The momentum of what we've been following is now over and done with. Let's start afresh as we move into a new section. But when he talks about such of my readers may have made a pedestrian excursion to the south of France, I'm trying to parse what he's saying there, because let's acknowledge that at the time, not everybody would have been able to make, travel possible. However, is he trying to kind of democratize the ability to travel? So saying like, I'm going to assume that you have, or that you've dreamt of it, and in doing so, I'm not going to be like, oh, remember down in the south where this thing is that thing? I don't know. I guess I'm like, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's not just speaking to the upper classes who could actually afford to travel. But it does feel a little elitist. I mean, he's giving the information that people who can't travel would need in order to contextualize and imagine themselves in this place. But the way he's phrasing it, I don't know, it feels like he's being exclusionary to anyone who can't. Like, why break the fourth wall at all and just say, to the south of France, about midway between the town of Beaucaire and Bellegarde? Like, why does he have to address the readers and assume that they've made this trip? I don't know. It feels a little strange to me. I guess I'm not going to dwell on it further, but I don't know. This is where I would like to have a better understanding of Dumas. In my biographies that I've been reading on him, none of them, I should say, because there's three, have really got to a place in his life where I have a sense over, like, his placement in society. I know just from my general research on the show that he surrounded himself with people he admired and wanted to learn from. And so I guess you could say that he lavished in the socialite attention. But I don't know if he actually did have kind of an elitist point of view. At the same time, though, I mean, to a point in the column of giving him the benefit of the doubt, is he acknowledging who readers were at the time before literacy really became a staple of society? Is he speaking to only the people he knows that are reading, which would probably be the middle class, upper middle class, and upper class people? I don't know. I would love all of your thoughts on that. Sound off on the Discord. The link is in today's show notes, as it is in every show notes. What a messy way to start chapter 26 on my part, not Dumas' part. So let's just keep going tomorrow. We got kind of a long chapter ahead of us, so I'm excited to see where this goes. All right, until tomorrow, you know where to find me, right here. Okay, goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.